Travis Perry has entered the transfer portal. This was a buzzer beater from Travis Perry, the only buzzer beater he hit last season or this season, as far as I'm aware. He is the Kentucky born and raised kid, kind of I don't want to call him the chosen one because that's ridiculous, but this was a kid that Kentucky basketball fans were incredibly invested in for good reason. He was a stud in high school. Him and Trent Noah ended up choosing to come together to Mark Pope and play as freshmen in that system for a Kentucky coach. Just everyone wanted this to work, wanted to watch him develop and become a really big time player for this program. And one way or another, Mark Pope had other plans, or I guess you could convince me Travis Perry had other plans, but I think they're very split. The reports here are very split on exactly how we got to the point where Travis Perry is leaving at the last second here. For what it's worth, Travis Perry had a few games last season that he started and looked really, really good. He played 30 minutes in a start against Alabama, had 11 points in that game. He played 28 minutes in another start against Alabama, had 12 points in that game. He had games where he really looked the part and you could see the vision for him long term. He also, in his smaller role off the bench, just didn't do a lot. He didn't make his threes. He only shot 32% from three, and he's billed as one of the very best shooters in the country. Overall, he shot 31% from the floor in 31 games, playing 10 minutes a game in year one. I think Travis Perry himself would tell you it wasn't good enough. And that's probably how you got to this point. So, what's the reaction that Travis Perry is choosing to leave Kentucky?
I mean, look, it's twofold. One, I think it sucks just in general. I think that this can happen in an era of college basketball where you're able to add a lot of talent and you're able to add a lot of people through the portal. And also, just like quite frankly speaking here, uh, Travis Perry is a 6'1". I still think he's an elite shooter. I know he didn't show it this year, but I think he ends up being an elite type shooter. I just don't know if he ends up being, you know, a guy that is ever like a starter for Kentucky or more than a 15-minute a game guy. And I think that's just kind of the scenario is what it is.
Okay. Like, almost like there was no choice here. Is that sort of the summary from your
I think there
standpoint?
was no choice if unless he wants to not play.
Okay. Now, but if that's where we got, then I would say Mark Pope had a choice, right? Like you didn't have to recruit over the guard spot so much this cycle if you wanted Travis Perry in an on-court role. Do you think that was a
Yeah.
mistake?
No.
I mean, certainly not with Jalen Lowe, Jalon Lowe. We love him. We think he's great. Is 1 year of Denzel Aberdeen worth losing Travis Perry?
Yes.
Really?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Worth losing Travis Perry and Cade Lewis? Because now we're talking. You lost two guys in the backcourt that had bright futures.
Well, like, okay, I guess what is your Travis Perry like ceiling?
So I want to talk this with you. I think Travis Perry is good enough to be a good starter on a high major team. I really do. I saw enough in year one, mostly in those Alabama games, that makes me think he's an SEC starting guard. Not
Hmm.
right now, not at Kentucky, because Kentucky's too good. You spend too much money, you're too good. You're always going to be too good. But like somewhere, I don't think he needs to go down a level. I don't think he needs to be a mid-major guy. I think high majors will take a shot on this kid. This is a kid that in out of high school, Alabama wanted, Purdue wanted, Michigan wanted. I'm not saying those schools are going to call him now. Purdue's backcourt is done. Michigan's backcourt is done. But like, I don't think in year one it was like he's not good enough. He's overwhelmed. I think it's he didn't get chances.
Yeah, I mean, in high school, I always thought like his ceiling is like what's Buddy's name that he started at Syracuse and then transferred to Clemson.
Joe Girard,
Yeah, that's what I thought his mold would be. So
but
like
more
that's a
more
high,
point guardy though.
yeah, but that's a high major starter though, right?
100%.
It's just not Kentucky.
100%.
It's just not Kentucky.
Well, not Kentucky, but here's the flip. You got to make shots to be that guy. And if you did make shots, I think Joe Girard could start in a Mark Pope system. You got to make your shots. I think that's probably the oversimplified version of this card. He made 18 of his 56 threes. You're on the roster to make your threes. Otherwise, respectfully, like what else is Travis Perry going to give a Mark Pope team? And he did get chances. While even though I'm sitting here saying he didn't make the most of his opportunities, he got chances. He played in 31 games. He made 32% of his threes. He's supposed to be a 40% three-point shooter. Again, I think Travis Perry would look you in the eyes and say that wasn't good enough for me.
Yeah,
But I think
if you're a shooter, you got to make shots.
right. Or at least to keep playing at Kentucky, you have to. Now, second side of this, obviously this is a special circumstance player, given how Kentucky basketball fans operate, who they are, what they care about. They really take care of their own. They would really rather see a kid from Kentucky develop and grow and get better and go through the ups and downs and become a good player than I think they would rather take a kid from Europe. Not saying Yelovich is the same position, but like, you know what I'm saying? I
Yeah.
think they would have been willing to be patient here. Do you think that Mark Pope should have factored that in more with the way he built this roster and any decisions that implicated Travis Perry? We interrupt this sleepers video to tell you about an offer from Underdog Fantasy. Cart, you love Underdog Fantasy, correct?
Of course I do. Can I have a moment real quick?
Please. Thank you for that. In fact, I'm going to cut you off because our listeners like when we keep these short and sweet. Underdog Fantasy. Sign up as a new user. Use promo code SLEEPERS. Get bonus funds up to $1,000, 50% of your deposit match. The NBA playoffs are rocking right now. I played Underdog last week with a Cade Cunningham line. I'm looking forward to doing it throughout the entire first round of the NBA playoffs, but there's more. You can place picks on golf. You can place picks on baseball. You can place picks on the NHL playoffs that are rocking right now. Join Underdog Fantasy, promo code SLEEPERS. Support this show so that we can keep bringing videos to you. Back to the video. Because this is the most heat I've seen Mark Pope get. Not saying I agree with it, but there is a contingent of Kentucky fans that are watching this development saying Mark Pope screwed up.
Honestly, I don't think so at all. And maybe that changes, I think, more. But I think that if you are going to go all in on this roster and spend as much money as you are spending, you need to go. You don't half-ass it. You go all the way in, and you go after the best of the best, and that might come at the expense of guys on the team. And if you make it, go ahead and make your bed, lay in it. It is what it is. But I do think that Mark Pope is moving correctly in this case.
Yeah. So in general, I agree. Here's the one thing I would just throw out. If you lose players because you added too many good players, like if you added players that are better than the guy you lose, that's always a good thing for a basketball program. So in that sense, like I think Mark Pope did exactly what he needed to do. This is a sign that Mark Pope is going to be cutthroat and I think build championship rosters. With that said, looking at this Kentucky roster specifically for what it's become, they are running low on guys that are going to be comfortable out of the rotation.
Mm.
And I do think that's an important part of keeping teams happy, making sure your locker room is good in this era, right? Is if you're going to use all your scholarships, you can only play at max 10 guys. And I think last year, Travis Perry and Trent Noah were more important than they seemed, even at times Colin Chandler, because those were guys that were just happy to wear the Kentucky uniform and didn't need anything in order to be happy contributors. And I look at what he's added, it's loaded. It goes 13 deep. But if the season started tomorrow, there's at least two guys that think they're going to be big parts of this rotation that won't be. And you just lost a guy that I think presumably in your mind as you were building this, you thought would be a happy bench warmer. Now you're going to have to make a couple guys, like if you get a Travis Perry replacement, presumably you get a good one. you're going to have to make somebody better a bench warmer. It's a good thing if you can navigate it, but I think it's a very difficult thing to navigate. And maybe the other added element of this, we talked about this in the Des Claude video. I mean, there are reports coming out loud that Kentucky spent $20 million on this roster. Somebody sent me a sheet that literally says how much every player on the roster got. Travis Perry is aware that he has 10 teammates making millions of dollars. He didn't get that offer. So, this is, again, kind of a result of the era, but I just think there's a lot of factors at play here beyond what his caliber is as a basketball player,
Yeah, and he could go make more money somewhere else. Someone will pay Travis Perry.
which is kind of crazy because you would think you can't make more money than at Kentucky anywhere. But based on what the rumored number Pope was going to pay Travis Perry, I think you're right.
What was that rumor number? I didn't see that.
Less than $1 million by a lot.
By a lot.
Yeah.
Oh, well, yeah.
Which
Go
is
get him.
probably what he deserves based on last year, but
How many Gabriel Cups is that?
not a full one.
Ooh. Ooh.
Yeah. Where should he go? What should he be? Western Kentucky was a finalist the first time. He's obviously a kid that values being close to home or historically has. But as I mentioned, he had big programs that wanted him. What should he be looking for?
So I know that you suggested not going down a level. I think that'd be good for him to go down a level, and I think he'd be a prolific scorer at a lower level.
I don't like it. So,
No?
but if you're going down a level, just Western Kentucky then, right?
Yeah.
See, I think he's good enough to, I don't think he should.
So where do you think he should go?
It's hard to say until we know the schools that reach out. But I think big name schools should and will reach out here. Kid with 3 years of eligibility left that is not an NBA player, like this is a hot commodity. I think if the right coach got his hands on him. I'll be honest, if Purdue wasn't loaded in the backcourt, I would think Painter tries, and that would be
Yeah.
a perfect system for him. I would love it if Michigan reached out. I don't think they will because I think they're done, but I would love to get him in the fold. Um, I don't know.
Actually, you know what needs to be done here?
What's that?
It's get back for Todd Golden.
Really?
Yeah, take Perry because they want to take Aberdeen. You take Perry, make Perry a player too.
Honestly, yeah.
Ooh,
A little one for one. Honestly, get him a
yeah,
little tan on the beach. Yeah,
yeah.
it
Get
could
him with
work.
Hog or the two man. Him and Xavier
Frosted
McGee.
tips.
Frosted tips.
Yeah. I just had one other idea. Oh, speaking of like someone kind of doing this to take a shot at Pope. If you're Pat Kelsey, do you make a call?
Oh,
I mean, his backcourt's more loaded than Kentucky's is, but like,
right. There's no way he leaves for a more loaded backcourt.
come be Rain Smith.
They got guys already.
We don't got a Rain Smith.
They don't need a Rain Smith.
Yeah, we do. I'm Pat
No, they
Kelsey. I
don't.
want a Rain Smith.
You don't need a Rain Smith anymore.
Yeah, we do.
You got McNeely. You got Conwell. You got
Hey, you like staying in state, right? Kentucky kid, born and raised. Let's keep it that way. You want
I
to
would
shoot
like
threes? We shooty 3-3.
the world of the SEC are just interstate workings of Kentucky getting spicy over Travis Perry. What a world we live in.
I love it. Good luck to Travis Perry. Kentucky fans, I promise you're going to be fine. You lost your 12th guy, but you got some really, really good players. This team's going to be really good.